Also, Bottoms, hugely requested guest, Robby Hoffman. You know them from the Too Far Pod, and you've seen them on Netflix. So funny. One of my favorite comedians to watch. We get into our parents, and we talk a little bit about being gay when your mom is born again and how using Christianity, she made her mom be okay with being gay. It's a pretty interesting episode. Robby is so funny and so unique. Enjoy. Oh, no, don't enjoy. Donate to the Patreon, patreon.com/WHGS. We can't do this without you. And I am going to the Edinburgh Fringe and bringing my show there. If you've never donated before, now is the time because it costs. It is a loss. So we're trying to make up that loss. Donate $1 if you can. We would really appreciate it. And then, as always, I'm going on tour. I'm going to Omaha, and a few more. So check that out. Get a text when I come to your city if you haven't heard your city. Thanks for listening, guys. Listener, this episode is brought to you by Green Chef, my absolute favorite meal kit for eating well deliciously. Take your clean routine further with 2 times the support, Green Chef's healthiest menu ever, and access to thousands of top-rated gyms and fitness studios worldwide from ClassPass. For a limited time, new Green Chef subscribers will also receive 50 credits to use at ClassPass, about a month's worth of membership. Go to greenchef.com/gayclass for 50% off your first box, plus 50 free credits with ClassPass. That's code GAYCLASS at greenchef.com/gayclass to get 50% off your first box, plus 50 free ClassPass credits. One more time, that's greenchef.com/gayclass for 50% off your first box, plus 50 free credits with ClassPass. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. You should be sure about the person that you're in a relationship with.
Yeah, and we're going to get into yours. I find the mess that you're running around with, I really have some comments on it. But, so Gabby sat me, no, we're going to get into it. Shut up. You're pretending to be a bumblebee or something that's not a human Homo sapien.
Robby is not only critiquing my relationship, but she's also hosting the podcast.
I'm hosting.
She took over.
Welcome to the Ashley Gavin podcast. I'm your host, Robby Hoffman. Pleasure to be
here. Part of the issue is we were talking on Instagram, and I am not the best on there.
Here's what I think happened. You want to know my tea? I think, listen, I'm kind of underground. I'm if you know, you know. One of these.
Your artist's favorite artist.
I've heard this. Okay. Mm-hmm. But then Gabby happens and she's more in the know. Mm-hmm. You're very in the know with the community, this and that. But then when Gabby came out, I became swept in.
Yes, you did. You got
swept in.
You totally did.
Suddenly, I'm like part of a famous lesbian couple.
Yeah.
First of all, I never came out. I told Gabby, I don't think we need to come out, just, because I never, who's coming out?
Yeah.
24. But she, and she did it right. Obviously, she knows. She's like, no, this is going to be in my world. I probably have to mention something.
It's a big deal. There are mothers in Iowa freaking out about this.
Yeah. So, but actually, it was very, very nice. But then I had Gavin slip back in the DMs.
Well, you're up in my feed again, I will say.
Opportunity calls, and by the way, as it should. As you should.
But I was there before Gabby.
As you should.
For the record. I've always thought you were very funny.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's true, but we weren't going to do the pod necessarily.
What? No
After
way.
Gabby was the pod. After you want to bring the receipts, you're going to lose. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Before we get into it, you have the Bambino Breville, which I bought Gabby for Christmas. It's a scam. Did they send you that or you bought it?
I bought it.
It works for you?
Yeah.
What's scammy about it?
We can't get it to work.
Do you need some help?
No, I don't know. But I got to call them. It's already been 6 months.
No. November 23rd, 2021. Oh, man, Kate's out till Monday, so we can't. But we can do a Zoom recording.
I reach out to you first?
Oh, you did. You reached out to me first. But I said yes.
I said, hey, bro. Something we should do the pod. I'd be a terrific
Circling
guest.
back with you on November 29th.
I'm circling. Doesn't want to know from me. Gabby drops. Suddenly Listen, I don't mind an opportunist. I think in this business, there's a level.
I extended the invite and did the first circle. I did the first circle. I just want to put it out there.
We want to read the whole thing and really make sure?
Read the whole thing.
Okay, let's read the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I did mention Gabby, of course.
No,
every lesbian in America.
Give me this. Oh, yeah, because this was Colbert. Allie Colbert. I said, hey, someone wants me to do your podcast. It's Allie Colbert, the mutual of ours. I go, I'm in NYC this weekend if you need. November 23rd, 2021. Eons before anything. Hey, Robby, how long you in town? Just the weekend? I said, from tomorrow to early sun. Could do Fry or Sat. Oh, man, Kate's out of town Monday, so unfortunately we can't. But we could do a Zoom recording sometime. I said, okay, yes. Then you go November 29th. Okay, circling back with scheduling. What's a good email for you? I give my email. Nothing happens.
Alex, did you drop the ball?
No, don't throw this on anyone,
I
okay?
think it's Alex.
I don't think Alex was doing the scheduling at that time.
You posted a story.
You know what? It was Sydney.
You
posted
a story. I'm developing a rapport. I said, yes, looks good. Some type of outfit. I'm developing a rapport. And she goes, hell yeah, I appreciate that. And then I go, I'm in New York, mid-Feb. Eyes emoji. You know, wink, wink.
The like.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes, and that was January 2023. Then
I lost the thread.
I get no response. Okay, and I don't know what my camera is. All of them. I get no response and
also
snapshot.
Screenshot them.
Yes, please.
And edit them in.
August 2nd, 8:44 p.m. Days I want to say.
I'm on Dateline right now. I'm on a true crime documentary.
Listen, the truth is I'll never be back.
Robby Hoffman
This is what I ensure. I'll never be back. I guarantee that I'm never a return guest.
What? Why do you say that?
Because of this, my receipts issue. Okay, so every August 2nd, days after Gabby comes out, every lesbian, Ashley Gavin messages me.
Every lesbian messages
Every lesbian in America is DMing me. Congrats about you, obviously. And so that's when we finally set up a date.
It did take months from there too, though.
Yeah, because I had to be back in New York. But
well, we could have. But the thing is, I have to admit, Robby, I'm not great on there. I will give you my number.
Okay, can you admit to a little bit of an opportunistic vibe, which is fine, and we all have to have for this business.
I will admit to it, but only because I've admitted to it every fucking time I've been on this podcast.
Here, let me ask you a yes or no question.
It's my whole brand.
Let me ask you a question. Are you an opportunist? Yes or no?
Yes.
Beautiful.
That's all we needed from the beginning. I'm on whoever's side is winning, by the way.
Thank you.
I think it's Robby. But can I go back to a different riff?
Please.
I want you to host a true crime documentary.
I'm so big on true crime. You have no idea. You know, I always thought if I didn't do this, I would. I've talked about, being the rabbi of the first ever mega synagogue or something like this. But I actually think I would want to go into, I would be the Bernie 2.0. I would go into politics.
I could see that for you.
I am so sick of it. I would walk in there. It's enough. It's enough.
And everyone would listen.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Okay? I don't care that you're they, them, you're queer. You're poor. Let's deal with this.
Who are you talking to right now?
Just the people.
You're talking to the people.
All the people?
Yeah, most people are poor. It's the biggest issue.
And most people are
you
poor.
You said I don't care if you're they, them.
No,
you're
so
poor.
they're talking about this when they haven't got a pot to piss in. Okay, I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it with the identity, but let's get you an apartment.
Yes.
Let's get you some food.
You know what you're touching on that I think people would appreciate? You're touching on the fact that there are poor whites in the middle of the country that are so sick of the social bullshit because they can't afford to pay rent. They have no retirement.
It's terrible.
You know what I mean? Like, of course, they're a little bit like, who gives a shit about...
and poor, though, because it's like you're like, oh, I'm just whatever.
You have nothing. What you are is nothing. You have nothing in either direction.
No identification.
You have nothing in either direction.
I'm trying to go off the grid.
What are your pronouns?
I don't know.
Right.
Whatever people think they are. I'm doing she, her because I found they, them is just too annoying. And
it is annoying.
It is
annoying.
I leave they, them. I leave they, them. I don't
like to fill people in on.
I don't like to step on any toes. I leave they, them for the queer girls with the boyfriends in Brooklyn. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to step on any toes and walk where I shouldn't. So I'm basically the last she, her on the planet. I don't know.
Well, I'm the same way. But because I
hate she, her too. I think it's so girly and I think the best pronoun
be non-binary.
is he, him. No question. He, him, the coolest, the sickest, okay?
True.
She, her is cute. It's like she's cute. And they, them is just fucking annoying because...
Do you use girlfriend or boyfriend with Gabby? Your boyfriend or girlfriend?
Well, she says I'm everything.
Perfect. That's actually
she says
really
I'm my girlfriend, I'm her boyfriend, I'm her best friend.
Okay, we don't need to get into how great of a relationship you
have. Well, was it crazy? Because I can't imagine what you were like walking into. Like, did you get any hate?
None.
That's amazing.
I have to say, there's a couple like, I didn't know. Gabby knew that I was pretty private about my private life. I had an ex years ago who was very into optics and was very managerial almost about what I posted. And, if it's her birthday, I have to post. If it's this thing, I should post,
Yeah.
And then I kind of, after that relationship, it was so like optics focused that it was like forced, it felt. And I'm not that much, that way. And then I didn't, I had relationships in between, maybe the 5-6 years in between before Gabby, where they weren't serious relationships, maybe 6 months, maybe stuff like that, where, I wasn't in love and I would have to tell the girl, I'm not in love and, just don't see a future with us. So I'm sorry and I'm sure.
Is that how you said it?
Yeah.
Good.
She's very to the point.
Yeah, I got I'm sorry and I'm sure. I've said this before for my friend Kathleen, but it's very important if you do decide to break up to be, I believe, clear.
For sure. A lesbian breakup can go on for years.
Not for me.
Yeah. You let them know a cold cut. I am not in love with you.
I don't like to hurt people.
We will never have a future together.
I don't like to hurt people.
I think this is actually kind of a fair...
It's helpful in the end,
It's helpful in the end. It might be more cutting in the beginning, but then it's over. It's done. You're not getting back together. You're not trying to tip over that fucking vending machine or the refrigerator.
I'll always love you, like that
bullshit.
Yeah,
that bullshit.
No, I don't have any of that. I want the person... If I'm breaking up, I would want to break up how I would, like, just so people can move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a string along. I don't like to lie. None of that. I'm sorry. If I'm breaking up with you, I've thought about it. Obviously, if I'm thinking about it, it's not, if you know, you know.
It's not good if
you don't know, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
A
exactly.
Biggie Smalls shout out. We're from the same.
That's such that's a nugget, though, just for people living at home. Or living at home.
If you
people
don't
listening
know,
home. Okay, if you're unsure, you are actually sure.
Yeah.
You should be sure about the person that you're in a relationship with.
Yeah, and we're going to get into yours. I find the mess that you're running around with, I really have some comments on it. But we'll do that after we do mine. So Gabby sat me. No, we're going to get into it. Shut up.
The relationship.
Robbie is not only critiquing my relationship, but she's also hosting the podcast.
I'm hosting.
She took over.
Welcome to the Ashley Gavin podcast. I'm your host, Robby Hoffman. It's a pleasure to be here. We have our guest, Ashley Gavin.
Listen, I don't have to talk all the time. It's kind of nice to sit down.
Yeah, nice
I talk
to hear
too much. I talk a lot. That's why I like doing podcasts.
The thing that, first of all, it makes you good at podcasts, but the thing that I like about this podcast is I just go with whatever we have on here.
Right.
I think the diversity of the guests is what makes the show so fun.
Thank you so much.
If you want to host,
so
Gavin, what would you do with this podcast?
I'm doing what I'm doing. You want me to answer your question? Or you want me to get into you?
Well, let me introduce you.
We haven't even introduced.
We're in the apartment. We're having gay sex. We're having gay sex with Robby Hoffman, as seen on Netflix. Go check out her set on our. You know what? Go check out.
I'm sorry.
This is not the guest to fuck this up with.
I'm just getting back into my fingers. They were broken for years, and then.
Sex accident. Thank you for being here.
Thanks
You're really funny. You've got tour dates. And then, as always, sometimes, my deeply damaged little friend, the molester jester, trigger
DJ
warning.
DJ Jiddled. Oh, yeah. All my episodes have to have a trigger warning. Well, I didn't get one when I was touched, so. God you did it, because I didn't want to do that for my own.
No, you can't air horn yourself.
No, I can't air horn myself.
Well, thank you, Kylie, for subbing in.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching Bird. It went up a lot when I.
What I say to you, you were like, "Oh, will you post this on your Instagram?" And I said, "I'll do you one better. We'll get you on the pod."
And when did I ever argue with that? I said, "Yes, of course." I'm there.
So go watch Kylie's special Bird on YouTube. Well, anyway, yeah. What's your problem with my relationship?
So you don't, okay, and then we'll get back. No, so you're in a relationship, correct?
Yeah.
I'm trying to piece it together. How long you been with this girl?
Couple years now. Like, we dated for a year during the pandemic. We have an 8-year age gap. So we broke.
Older or younger?
Younger. I'm 36. We broke up for a year. Very amicable. Peace. We knew we would because
okay, and then now you're back.
You said you're trying to piece it together. I'm giving you the important facts.
I need the
This is karma, though. Don't you feel that?
What do you mean?
You know, this is you. You're just. You're mirroring you.
Robby's me on steroids. Yeah. I'm not even this me.
Okay, so go.
Me is not this me. Got back together and let's see, like maybe 2 years ago now. So, like total probably like 3.5 years.
You in love?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love her very much.
No, she's really awesome.
Yeah. Are you in love?
Yeah. She's the best person I've ever met in my life.
And then when you're on the road, sometimes you post about other girls or something?
We are in an open relationship.
No.
That's fine. I know people are saying, Robby's only saying what many people are thinking behind the door.
What's your problem with open relationships?
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
There are so many horrible open relationships. I think 99%. First of all, 99% of all relationships are in bad shape.
Yeah.
And then also 99%. It's true.
It's not true.
Okay. 99% of open relationships are bad. But we started open. So we didn't have to have a weird conversation or an awkward transition. And it's just sex and hookups. It's not relationships. And it's very rare. It's more of a hall pass.
Your relationship.
We have a lot of trust and communication. That's what I would say. But I will also say, like, our numbers are small.
It's so not in your control. When somebody says it's just hookups and sex, it's like you're pretending to be a bumblebee or something that's not a human Homo sapien. It's just, unless you have, like a real autism, and as somebody who was recently diagnosed.
I mean, I might.
No, I wasn't actually diagnosed, but an expert diagnosed me.
It sounds like she was really diagnosed.
No, an expert on our with podcast, a PhD. An expert on my podcast, the Too Far Pod,
yes,
which by the way, yeah, why don't you say this about the Too Far Pod? New York Times called it addictive. Say that, the Too Far Pod.
The Too Far Pod. New York Times raves that it is addictive.
Okay. It was the Atlantic Top 25 podcast in its first year.
The Atlantic said it is a top 25 podcast in its first year. And it was the
top 20 even.
Top 20
and that's every podcast, not just comedy, not anything, okay? So it's enough is enough.
Anyone who has ever complained about me plugging my shit needs to take a seat right now.
What? Wait, who's complaining?
The people who left after the whole thing.
Oh, well, yeah, fuck that.
But anyway, continue.
Okay, fuck anyone who, whatever.
I agree with fuck.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, but you
said
anyone. She can't fuck anyone. You said no, that's unacceptable.
Can I respond to it?
This is your big joke. You twisting the fuck.
I had that in the back pocket.
I agree with you. It really sounds very difficult. You cannot control who you fall in love with. I hooked up with a girl at one point that I was like, wow, this is someone that if I was not seeing Jen, I would really have a lot of interest in. And
if you were not, But that's a lie. This is someone that I have a lot of interest in.
Yes, I had a lot of interest in her, and I put up a wall, and I don't talk to her anymore.
Brutal. You got to go get this girl.
No, I don't have to. I love my girlfriend. I love my girlfriend more. I love my girlfriend infinitely more.
Wouldn't you say, though, that's your version of I'm not in love with you, we're never getting back together?
What are you doing? A racist accent?
I also like
am I experiencing anti-Semitism?
I imagine you're holding meatballs when you're saying this.
Yes, she's running a deli.
I need this anti-Semitic
breakup deli.
With what we're going through right now?
Yeah.
Jesus. What I need, what I don't need. Listen, you can fool yourself It's no problem. But when you want to start taking yourself seriously, maybe put on socks and shoes when you have somebody on the pod.
We're no shoe house, but I would never impose that on you.
Maybe get yourself a wife, something like this.
Oh, I'm asking Jen to marry me next year.
Why next year?
Because we laid out a little plan for ourselves, and yeah,
they want it on an even year. So
no, 2025. It's an odd year.
That's
Jen wanted to be. Alex, do what you can with that.
I have psychomotor retardation, Robbie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I know. That's why I'm using it clinically.
Yeah, you knew.
I'm using it clinically.
I have psychomotor retardation.
As somebody who was recently diagnosed by some expert on the Too Far pod.
Oh my God.
No, I'm using it clinically.
When the expert came on, like, what was the criteria that they saw in you?
Ridiculous things like what I think happened is in my family. In the family that I grew up in, I have 9 siblings, single mom, and I was born into a very religious Jewish community.
Yes.
And in my neighborhood, and then when I moved to Canada, I lived in a similar neighborhood with all
Where
Jews.
Did you grow up? Did you grow up here?
Originally from Crown Heights, New York, and then Montreal, Canada.
Were you in that very religious sect?
Yeah.
I dated a girl who had gotten out of there.
Yeah. So we were in the Lubavitch sect, ultra-Orthodox Jews, and I was totally normal in such a community.
Right.
And when I moved to Montreal, we also moved in the religious enclave there. And I couldn't be more normal. But then it's like entering this world where people are lying to each other and keeping a facade and having pleasantries and how are you and this and that. Now I'm like autistic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm weird. You're the one lying. How are you? I'm fine. It's like if I grew up saying how are you, somebody would say, how should I be?
Right.
How should I be? It's like you have some nerve to ask me how I am. Oh, house burnt down. How would you be? Meanwhile, people here, it's like, how are you? Okay, you.
But don't you feel
you? How should I be?
I agree with you. I think because I'm a born and raised New Yorker.
Yeah.
I'm Jewish on my mom's side.
Jewish.
Yeah. I mean, we're not religious.
Doesn't matter.
And I get this all the time. And you actually talked about this, and I deeply appreciate it. I saw it on your Instagram. Stop interrupting me. What do you, we're having a conversation. There's a back and forth.
No, but there isn't always a back and forth because some people have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Some people have nothing to say. I would be delighted if you interrupted me. Imagine me being interested. I'd love to be interested.
Right, it's bottoming during the conversation.
Like, I would love...
Takes the heat off of you a little bit.
I'm actually in observational mode. Do you ever think about the fact that maybe you're so entertaining, people are stopped... Like, I talk a lot, and I'm watching you, and I'm like, what is going on? This is really good.
You should have a solo podcast.
I do like to talk, but I would prefer to be really interested in what somebody had to say.
I agree.
That would be nice. It's just like comedy. Like, I'm making people laugh. I'm like, when do I laugh? When do I laugh?
Gabby's really funny.
Very funny.
I don't know if she gets enough credit for that.
You're making me smile just mentioning her because she is so funny and brilliant. And, like, for as hard as she is, like, she doesn't even have to have anything.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, she could get away doing that. But because she is who she is, it's like, I'm literally living a dream. My life is like a heaven with her. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Now, could you imagine fucking another person occasionally on top of that?
No. I have no, you know what? I grew up kosher.
So sorry.
And this is something you could learn.
Take
No,
notes.
there's something really special about keeping things special. And I grew up kosher, which means that, I couldn't eat now there's a lot of different variants in kosher food, and they make a lot of like fun stuff kosher.
Is that just
they have like fast
note?
Food kosher and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But growing up, like kosher food was like, in my opinion, bland or whatever. Especially, early memories start maybe 4 or 5, just walking home from school and smelling all the non-Jewish kids who had like McDonald's Happy Meals.
You were going up
I was about to say sniffing the
kids.
No, but they would walk by and they looked happy and they had it and I said, I want a Happy Meal. Why can't I be happy?
Yeah.
Like, and it was in that little box, the house box, just the packaging, the whole thing was just so enticing. And the smell would waft over me, and then it would be gone. And then it would be supper at our house. And my mother would, had some beef stew.
Is Gabby kosher or not kosher? I'm sorry, you said you wanted someone to interrupt you. And
with something interesting. Take it, accept it, feel uncomfortable about it, and deal with it as a person.
Yeah, go on.
So the people would pass with the McDonald's and the smell would wash over me. And then it was gone. And then my mother would call and I had whatever beef stew or whatever kids don't want to. And even though I didn't love the food, I was satiated. I was full.
Right, sure.
I got very good at dealing with temptation. That sure, there's that smell or whatever, but at home. And then I was like, actually eating good food, homemade beef stew and stuff like that. And I don't know, I got really good at resisting a temptation. I can see somebody who is attractive or something like that, and it's not even a question. I don't know. I'm very good at not having everything, but I want 95% of things. I want to get to 95, but there's a 5% that I'm so comfortable not having, and I don't think I should have. I think having everything, having that type of gluttony is what gets you, being such a gluttonous person is what gets you to Kobe Bryant dying in the helicopter crash.
Yes, of course.
Because
you were
the thing
say that.
is,
I knew where
the
you were going with this.
that
this has been a story about Kobe Bryant the entire time.
No, Kobe Bryant is getting in the helicopter to go to his kid's game, and his justification for this was, well, he wants to spend more time with the kids. First of all, he could just spend more time with his kids. He doesn't have to have a million business endeavors. He's got enough. He's got to know when to say it's enough. If he's saving that amount of time, he could have had, let's say it's a 2-hour drive to the game. He could have had 2 hours in the car with his girl instead of 10 minutes in a helicopter. So it's just...
And God smite him down.
No, I'm just saying God gives us lessons, and it's a shame, and it's awful, but we can learn a lesson in gluttony and not having everything. Have almost everything. And just put a decorum on your life, and it just makes you live with a little bit. I don't know. Living with decorum is nice.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I actually think we're totally philosophically aligned.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Listener, you might notice there's no ads on this episode. That means that this episode was 100% sponsored by gay people like you. Listener, go to patreon.com/WHGS. You can get up to 4 bonus episodes a month, and that includes our full backlog, plus the live stream of my comedy show, plus a ton of other bonus content. It's the best way to keep this podcast going, and if you donate $1 today, that would have been more helpful for us than listening to the ads. So consider donating $1. And if you're on the fence, here's a little taste of what you'll see on the Patreon.
I was a sex worker for many years. To my pleasant surprise, I went into work one day and was told my next date was a woman. And they asked if I was okay with that. My response was a seriously excited yelp. And then yes. I was finally... with my face in her naughty bits and was doing my best.
Okay, time out.
No, why are
Love that you're here. This story is amazing. Don't ever say naughty bits.
This person is a professional, and they said naughty bits.
That's so fucking
crazy.
That's really crazy.
Like, dude, that's an industry term. You guys are shitting on me. You guys are...
One more time, that's patreon.com/WHGS. Did you have gay sex this week?
No, Gabby is in Scotland.
That's fucking sick. What is she doing there?
She's shooting a show called Traitors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that on
Don't
Peacock?
look at me. I literally live in a van. You look at me as if I have access to a TV.
Wait, you
You
live
have
in a van right
laptop,
now?
which is a TV.
Where is the van? Where is the van? Yeah.
Right now in Bed-Stuy. But I go on the road.
Where are you born?
Southern California, Oxnard, Ventura County.
You have your parents?
No.
They're dead?
In a way. I've lived on my own since I was 16.
Why?
My dad's a and my mom is a...
Rachel's dad's a
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we should link.
Yeah.
We should do a
mixer.
Yeah, we should do a
Was he a to you?
crossover.
He was? That's horrible.
Yeah.
See,
it's
Rachel's
pretty-
dad was not attracted to her, which is almost in itself.
Yeah, he didn't
It's
touch
very
my
offensive.
sister, so I was like, I guess I'm the favorite of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I have well, what you were saying is like temptation and stuff, and also being really honest. I resonated with that because I've lived on my own since I was 16. I basically was in a bear cave being raised by bears in a sense.
Yeah.
And so I don't
Who
know.
are the bears?
Comedians.
Just comedians and I don't. Maybe the bears are more in here, like, and then we go in the cave.
What's the cave? Who's the bears? I'm thinking gay men. Am I wrong?
No, you're thinking wrong.
Well, you're right in a sense.
In a sense. Well, listen, forget that.
I hope this wraps up. So what happened?
What do you mean? I lived
The
on
podcast
So
or
what
her
happened to
story?
your mother?
Oh, my mother.
Kylie's a great storyteller.
No, I know. So I'm trying to navigate her through it. What
She'll
happened
find
to your
it. She'll
mother?
let the birdie fly. Let her leave
Let
the
the
nest.
birdie fly, LMAO. Okay, my mother is mentally...
R word? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, my mother is not mentally R-word. That's why you think I don't have a relationship with my mom is because she's
I know, I'm
disabled.
asking.
God, she just wants to play catch.
I'm asking.
No. She has like mania and like in and out of psychiatric care and stuff.
Awful.
Yeah, but
Godspeed. You have siblings?
yeah, I have a sister. She works with bears. That's probably why I said that. She literally is a scientist with grizzly bears. I'm
Oh,
not
that's
even
so
kidding.
fucking sick.
Yeah, she's like really cool.
That's older
But like
or
we
younger,
also have a
Kylie?
bad relationship.
Oh.
But we're repairing it. She's older.
Okay.
She left the house when I was left with. So my dad left when I was 13. That's when my sister left for college, and then that's when I was with my mom. And so we have a very different dynamic with our family because my mom wasn't the best before, but she had like a more tamed version than I had.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some discrepancy.
That's so interesting. With my mom, I think I took more of it on the chin for my sister.
You have a good relation with your mother?
Not great. Not great. I lost my father when I was a kid.
That's horrible. How old?
I was 11.
Good dad?
Great dad.
You're kidding.
Great dad.
Yeah.
In love with him the whole thing?
I mean,
as a kid.
yes. I very admired him
awesome.
a lot.
Awesome.
And my mom we're working on it, We're working
Yeah,
on
it's
it. My
tough.
mom tries. I will say my mom tries.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I got to give her
especially
that.
for that generation.
Give her that
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Give
yeah.
a lot of that.
Really try because it helps me to
Give
remember.
her a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give a lot of grace to parents. I think.
But anyway.
What about your parents?
My father was recently reconnected with by one of my sisters. The thing is I have a lot of bittersweet. My father is such a funny. I'm a lot like my father than I am with my mother, but my father was, not great to my mother, and they divorced when I was young, and I had no relationship with my father. Maybe visits once a year for a little bit, and then nothing.
Is that allowed in the community?
No, my
divorce?
mother left the community.
Oh,
with the
okay,
10 kids,
okay,
so it was
okay.
a big, big thing. So that's why there was no relationship. We did get visits occasionally, but then that didn't even happen. But he was so funny, brilliant. Both my parents are brilliant on the R word spectrum. There's no question.
Totally.
The autism
R
spectrum,
plus.
the autism spectrum, no question. But they're both so brilliant, but equally as eccentric. And my father is so charismatic, funny. For all his negative qualities, I have a lot of things that I feel like I'm half of him. Even though I don't have a relationship with him, I've really managed or started to see myself in him and keep a relationship alive in the ways that I do enjoy him and not just the negative, like,
That's basically.
I bought cowboy boots. He wore cowboy boots for no reason. And I just love having them. When I'm in sunglasses, I look like him the way that his eyebrows are. And I I don't know. And I like old cars and I like things like him. And I get to have a relationship with my father by the ways that I'm like him and myself. And it's felt really nice.
That's basically what my show is about too, because I'm talking about how my dad was someone that I really loved. Like our family was tumultuous, but like we had good moments.
Yeah.
And I am way more like my dad than my mom.
So you're a
Yeah, so I touch kids constantly. Literally can't stop. It's been epic. But no, we like I camp and now I can't. It's like growing up, the only time it was like awesome was when we went camping, and now I camp full time.
Yeah.
Homeless.
Tangential to what you just both said, I'm trying to, with my mom, I'm trying to isolate the things that I love her during. Like, I'm trying to have those parts of our relationship and trying not to play into the other stuff.
I just genuinely like my parents, even though they're so like my mother is just the funniest person. We don't get to speak every day because she's a complete Luddite. She doesn't have a cell phone. She doesn't, she's hearing impaired, but she's incredibly funny in the exact opposite way in which my father's funny. She doesn't know. She's always like, why are you laughing? One of those where it's just everything she does is so funny and she's so brilliant. And the way she was a parent to us, even though it wasn't so emotional and kisses and hugs and stuff like that, she just set such an example of perseverance. Like, she went back and got her degree when we were kids. She went to school once a week, every week. And then like 12 years later, when my older sister was graduating, suddenly my mother was also graduating. And like, we were like, oh my God, Ma, you did it. It took like 12 years. I thought my mother was like, once a week going to school I just never considered that she would graduate university.
Right, yeah.
So I really respect the way in which my mother was a mother now. I used to really be envious of people who had kind of a best friendship or something with their mother. And I also just enjoy my mother so much. My mother should have been born in like 1704. I myself, I'm old at heart, and my mother's like
ancient.
My
Victorian.
My mother
decrepit at heart.
is in her 60s. She's gonna be 65 but she's like 104. She's like, so I do find the times that I do get to speak to my mother, which, I call on the phone, stuff like that. It's almost like we get time travel time together. And I'm so blessed to even get to know this lady because it's like,
what did she
shouldn't even be here. My mother did English and history.
Okay, cool. And why did you guys move to Canada?
My mother's from Montreal.
Oh, okay.
So when we left the community, her support system, my grandparents were there. My great uncle. We moved into my great uncle Eddie's house. May he rest in peace.
So weird. It seems like we have similar mothers. Mine was off with her boyfriend that's in a Sublime cover band named Emblebus, which is Sublime backwards.
No, my mother didn't have boyfriends. I mean, my mother knew what was, just important. She did have one. She went on a date with a guy. My mother was always reading outside on the porch if we were playing. And she went out with someone from some singles group that they had at the synagogue or something, that my grandfather had encouraged her to meet other grown-ups. And maybe he came to the house on their third time or something like this, just to hang out. And we were playing baseball. Yeah, like just to meet. Like my mother was, okay, you can come by the house. But we didn't know he was a boyfriend or anything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of just like a friend from this, synagogue group. No, so we lived across from a school. So my brothers were playing. He was trying to do like baseball with my brothers, which is
telltale sign that your mom's fucking him.
Well, my mother probably didn't even touch him.
Yeah. I was going to say, were you excited?
Sure we were really happy for her to have someone.
Okay, yeah. That was the vibe.
But then my little brother who is autistic, and that, that's why I use it. So it apparently if it's in the family, it touches everyone. And my mother, you can listen to the Too Far episode with my mother and you'll see what's happening. But he like touched my brother, something like my brother didn't catch the ball properly or something like this. And he grabbed him like this.
Yeah.
Just took it. And my mother from up her book somehow like saw it. She said, you don't touch my kids. And we never saw him again.
Oh my God.
We never saw him again. She touched my little brother. He went like this to like move him to here or something. Don't touch my
Was your brother very sensitive to touch?
No, nothing. But my mother, she's not waiting for a red flag.
Man, your mom
She
gets
hears a
rid of the
whisper.
gun.
She's going to protect us. She's going to feed us, and she
Uh-huh.
will educate us, and that will be it.
Damn, all I needed to do was have
She
your
will
mom.
only do those 3 things. She was militant about people. Like, you couldn't us if you tried.
No, that's what I'm hearing right now. It's like it couldn't even get to that point where they attempted to because your mother said, "Don't even look at my fucking children.
Look at my children.
Don't touch my boys." Like she just. You don't touch you just don't touch my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't a strict mother, anything like this. So it was really interesting. Like, I remember a lot of the one-on-one time I had with my mother would be like, I would have a bath or something. And I really stretched out. I would take a bath still till 7. Cause sometimes when I was a kid, my mother would stick a baby in the bath with me or whatever. There's 2-3 kids in the bath. The water is murky. It's disgusting. And
stick a baby in the bath? Like a
yeah,
real
like
one?
my little sister or whatever.
Listen,
like I would
there's
be
10 kids.
Yeah.
You got to cut down. You can't do
I would
10
be like
baths.
5.
In a way, you were a mother.
Yeah,
as well,
I would
then.
be 5, and my mother would dump like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
In the bath,
tub.
like it's her bath time. Like people were always showing up and leaving the bath.
Yeah.
Like and,
It was an open door policy.
yeah. And I remember like talking to my mother at like 6 or 7, being like, "Ma, I really think I deserve my own bath." She's just like, I'm putting my foot down. I'd like 10 minutes in the bath alone before anybody comes. I'm just like, okay, we'll try and do that. And because I liked my mother sitting on the toilet, I would be swimming like this. You're
You're sliding.
You're absolutely
Your back
bodying a
your
wave
back
right now.
And I would just be chatting to my mother, back, forth, back. And my mother would suddenly, like no bedside manner, be like, because we lived with my great uncle Eddie, and then which was her father, my grandfather, may he rest in peace, also the 2 greatest men that ever were. My grandfather, who these men were unbelievable. And she would say about my grandfather, because maybe sometimes he would take us swimming or something, or my great uncle, she would say, "Where did Uncle Eddie put on his swim trunks?" I'm like, "What?" So he would take us to the Y or whatever. I'm like, "What?" I don't know. I'm talking to her about my day, like, and she'd be like, "Where did he get dressed?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know where this man gets dressed." But my mother, even it being her own uncle, even it being her father, has Zadie ever I'm like, Zadie? I thought she was a sicko.
Oh, she's trying to inquire as to whether or not these men are
yeah, even though they're not.
That's so crazy.
She doesn't care that it's her father who
or
she
her
grew up
brother.
with.
Yeah.
Or
wow. That's
Smart.
amazing. That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
She will, even though it makes her sick to even think about it and she can't imagine it. Her own father, who never, is incredible and never touched us, but she didn't let that stop her from asking us, no matter
Right.
what.
Do you think she dealt with something?
And and she never did. But she read an article.
Oh, okay.
Like my mother will read
The
one article.
said, "Scream at your kids and say, where did he touch you?"
No, like one kid in Crown Heights was
Yes.
10 years before we were born.
Yes,
Who
yeah.
knows? My mother read it.
Good for her.
And my mother decided, not on my watch. And she had to ask about her dad. And I thought she was a sicko. I'm like, why would Sadie ever touch my private parts? She's
Yeah.
like, your private, did anybody touch your private parts? I'm like, no. Thinking she's disgusting. Yet now looking back, obviously she's doing what you have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But she didn't have the bedside manner like, did Sadie touch her? I'm like, what? No, you freak. I'm like, Ma's really a sicko.
That does make it sound like she has experiences with these people, but she's literally
never
just
did.
She's like, oh, that is like almost, that's almost bad, right?
Yeah, no, it's actually what your
much
parents
bad.
should have done.
Well, one of them was a little
What
busy.
do you mean? The one that was touching me was gonna go?
No, the other
"Where
one,
did
your
I touch you?"
mother. My mother would have left that guy so fast.
Oh, my mother. Yeah, no, but she knows now. She still doesn't she says horrible things about it. That's why I can't talk to her because she'll be like,
She'll bring it
that
up.
sucks.
she'll be like, yo, I made a dubstep song out of her voicemail one time where she was like,
What is that,
the
dubstep?
abuse was her fault. No.
It's amazing I wasn't as a child because
You have the energy
in Canada,
for sure.
first of all, I was a cutie. And second of all, in Canada, I was with my great uncle. So this is her uncle, my grandfather's brother. And he was friends with two guys who were Holocaust survivors who never married, or they married and were widowed. They were all in their 70s.
Did the Holocaust
these
survivor
guys.
touch you?
No, literally. And I would go like do trips with them. One was building this like shack of a house, and I would move wood, and I was never touched. I just was around a lot of.
Okay, now it feels like you're rubbing it in. You're
No,
like,
I
was
literally
just
is
never
amazing.
touched.
Rubbing it in
I'm
is
not
a
here
bad
to
choice of
defend
words.
old cis white men, but I knew a lot of good ones growing up.
Sure. Let's get back to Gabby. She's in Scotland
Yeah.
doing just on vacation.
No.
I don't know if you have any.
Think back to what I said.
She's filming a show.
She's filming Traders. Yes.
Bingo is his name-o. Bingo is his name-o. I knew you knew the answer.
So-
I'm not going to give it to you. You see how I knew you had it in you. I wasn't going to spoon feed
And
you.
if only I had a little more hard parenting
So do you
like
guys
this.
have gay sex on
Yeah,
FaceTime or anything?
No,
That's a
I get a
great question.
supervised call with her once a week.
From the
the glass.
producers?
Yes.
That's so crazy. For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, for real.
You could tell a Gabby story, or I'm also interested about your coming out process, because like, did you come out to your father like
Nah, I'm not in.
at all? Okay. But your mother took it very well.
Yeah, my mother took it well, but now she's Jews for Jesus, so now she's homophobic again.
No.
Yeah, originally she took it very well because we were like, kind of outside the religion.
She had a
no,
reverse.
my mother, it totally makes
Came
sense.
back.
My mother grew
Uno
up.
She was in
reverso on the
remission and then it
homophobia.
came
Yeah.
back.
No, my mother, it totally makes sense. She grew up with a great father, my grandfather. And then when she moved out of his house, she married my father. And now she was under the, the rule of another man. And she was very comfortable with that. And she lived in a very patriarchal kind of setting to some extent. And then when she divorced my father, she had her father again back in Montreal. And then when he died, my grandfather, may he rest in peace, she found Jesus, who became a new father to her. And I think she finds a lot of comfort in being under a father figure.
Okay, got
Versus I grew up with a single mother, and so I'm a lesbian.
it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what turns you
Direct
gay. I mean, I'm
causation.
also a single mother, so.
Yeah, so
How did she bring up her new homophobia? Was there like a day that she
no, it
brought
was
it up?
just like we heard she had some type of baptism. First of all, she had like the 10 of the Jewiest kids you could have, and then suddenly she's shaving herself. So I called her. I said, I heard you did this thing, and I said, Ma, do you think she won't talk about it with us, which is like she's the worst born again. Because the
I
whole
was about to
point-
say that's a very not born again thing to do.
was
Born
like-
agains love to tell you that they found Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, but Ma, aren't you supposed to? I don't want to tell you what to do. I was like, but Ma, do you think I'm going to hell? Like, if there's a way for me not to go to hell, don't you want me not to go to hell? Well, and I'm like, but she really doesn't, my mother isn't a pushy person. She's so
separating church and
Canadian and
state.
so kind.
That's so interesting.
So she just doesn't do it, but
I really
So
respect that, man.
Do you talk about your queer relationship with her?
yeah, so what I said to her, and I can be spiritual, and I just don't, for me, it's as crazy that we're here on this earth as there's an afterlife, as anything is possible. There's nothing I really don't believe in because it's
UFOs.
the whole, sure, I don't care about UFOs, but sure, I believe in
See,
them.
that's wild to me. I can't believe more people aren't up in arms about the aliens.
Dude,
I think about the aliens
There's this
every
one guy
day.
who's like,
I don't
no,
either.
all these alien women are
it's
coming to fuck me every night. It's so hard. The government's up to it. Like,
I'll
it's
tell
so
you, it's
funny.
so boring. Aliens, hearing people's dreams, and when they're high, those stories, it's all terrible. Terrible.
All right, well,
I'm telling
I'll
you,
back
it's
off.
extremely.
It's bad pod content.
It is bad pod content. I think it's just uninteresting. It's interesting talking about people.
I agree.
I just talked about this guy who's like, these
I know,
women
he-
fuck me every night that are aliens, and he's
Is he on
complaining about
TikTok?
it. No, he's like an old guy that makes paintings of his
I don't.
visitations.
He's just a crazy guy.
Sure, but you love crazy people.
What?
You are literally crazy, and you love your parents.
I'm crazy?
Yes.
Am I crazy?
Yes.
Sorry, I zoned out for
We're
a second.
all crazy. She's fucking crazy.
What was I
I'm
saying?
insane. You're talking about coming out to your mom.
Oh, yeah. So my mother, what I did tell her when she's Jews for Jesus, and she goes, I couldn't come to any type of a gay wedding or something. I said, Ma, first of all, you're jumping the gun. Who says you're invited? Like, nobody. Okay, so then And then, then she goes, but then I called her and I said,
she wants to be invited to the wedding she can't go to. What do you mean
I
I'm not invited to the wedding I'm not going to go to?
I think Jesus is a great guy. By the way, there's nothing bad I've heard about him. Jews don't not have Jesus. Yeshua was a good person. We just don't believe, we don't know if anybody is God or not, or anybody is bad.
Right.
But we don't think he was a bad, he was obviously a great man. But, and I like everything I've heard about Jesus. He sounds chill. Like I'm not, but I called my mother and
Chill
I was
guy.
like,
chill.
when we were speaking about the gay, I said, Ma, Jesus loves me so much. And she's like, really? How do you know? I'm like, because I know Jesus loves me exactly how I am. He just loves me. And she wow, do you have a I said, I do. I just think he really likes me. He loves me. He's got me. And that really turned her around because she's like, wow, he does. Like, because the thing is, it's like, does Jesus not like somebody?
You're
like,
actually
apparently
kinda
Jesus
using-
loves you. So
You're
know,
using the Christian
I'm
talking. That's
using
how
it.
they speak.
And so she's really, I said, and my mother gifted me a Bible, and I said, thank you so much for this, Ma. I really appreciate it. She said, you do? I said, Ma, I love you so much, and it's from your heart, and you're giving it to me. I really appreciate that. And it really is true. Now, she's very worried about Rachel, my co-host, so she sent her a Bible for other reasons. But yeah, Jesus, we agree. Jesus just loves me. And she goes, I said, look how he's blessed me. She goes, wow. Yeah. And she's really become less.
This
she
is
just
honestly,
thinks Jesus loves me.
listener, write in. Use this tactic on your Christian mother.
Yeah,
pretty good.
See how
because
it goes.
ask your Christian mother, does Jesus not love me? She'll never say, Jesus loves everyone.
Yeah. It's
Jesus
true.
loves you, and
He's the
Jesus
forgiver.
will.
He is a chill guy.
You will talk to Jesus yourself. And I said, I have my own relationship with me, and I told my mother, I said, I am so open to being saved. I can't tell you how much I want to be saved. I'm open to them coming to me in the bath at a show. I have been so open to somebody to having a calling, to having. So please, I'm open.
Well,
I think Jesus loves me, and she was like, wow, good.
You said that you wanted alone bath time, though.
Yeah, but if Jesus came to me in the bath, he could get in. He could get in.
Jesus can be there?
He can get in.
Will he play with the Polly Pockets, too? You obviously play Polly Pockets.
What's a Polly Pocket?
Oh,
yeah,
Polly
you're-
Pocket in the bath. That was big.
What
I
is it?
can't even get into it.
Polly Pocket is like a teeny. It's a
No,
toy.
I know, but why is it in the bath?
I don't know.
They're just
actually.
really good in
They're
the
just
bath.
really fun in the bath.
I don't know. Maybe it was like,
they're just.
you know what? We had like, I would take an empty shampoo bottle, fill it up, and squeeze it.
Yeah. Witchy time. Cauldron, like stirring the cauldron.
I
Witchy
would
time.
put bubbles as a beard.
You know,
and
witchy
shave it.
time. Yeah.
You ever do that? Or
Yeah,
bubbles?
I did that one a
or
little
you
bit.
would
put
shave.
your hair down and then you flip it up and go,
Yes.
I'm George Washington.
Yeah, that's-
I'm going to chop down you a cherry tree. And then it gets like really
Weirdly.
homoerotic for some reason.
We're almost at time, honestly.
My gosh.
But oh, listener, do I have a great offer for you from Green Chef. Green Chef is my favorite meal kit, and it just got even better. Jen is going to love this one, and you will too if you're a fan of ClassPass. Now, first of all, if you don't know much about Green Chef, it is my absolute favorite meal kit, especially if you're trying to eat healthy, and you know I am on the road. Green Chef's quality whole foods with limited processed ingredients contribute to a healthy lifestyle. And no matter what you got going on, whether you're keto, Mediterranean, plant-based like I am, they've got something for you. It even has a dedicated preference for gut and brain health with science-backed recipes that feature ingredients like fiber, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids. Now you can take your clean routine even further with 2 times the support, Green Chef's healthiest menu ever, and access to thousands of top-rated gyms and fitness studios worldwide from ClassPass. For a limited time, new Green Chef subscribers will also receive 50 free credits to use at ClassPass. That's about a month's worth of membership. I was so stoked to learn about this. I love Green Chef and I love ClassPass. This is the ultimate collab that I didn't know I needed. Go to greenchef.com/gayclass for 50% off your first box, plus 50 free credits with ClassPass. That's code GAYCLASS at greenchef.com/gayclass to get 50% off your first box, plus 50 free ClassPass credits. One more time, that's greenchef.com/gayclass for 50% off your first box, plus 50 free credits with ClassPass. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. You have a great, I didn't say this,
Please.
you look great.
Thank
you have
you.
a great sense of style.
I
I
really appreciate
really
that.
love how you dress.
Thank you.
You're on my, of the lesbians that I
Really?
like look at where I'm like, oh, I could be dressing a little better. You're one of the people
Well,
that
can I
look
give
at.
you my tips on style?
Absolutely.
Fit.
Wear black jeans and a white shirt. I feel like
Fit.
Yeah, fit is huge.
I think fit is the only thing. It's almost like I feel like I didn't get to pick my style. I just like wearing boys' things. And it's hard
you're
to find
lean.
boys' things that fit me because I'm small.
Totally.
So
Where do you buy your pants?
these are, I do a lot of used clothing.
Yeah.
You know what? As a kid, I had such embarrassment shopping at, we shopped at Salvation Army and Value Village. And it's just horrible not having new things, you know. And then it became popular, but I was so embarrassed at school. And I just wanted brand names. I wanted something. And now vintage
Is in, yeah.
you know, and you can get brand names at a quarter the price. So if I want a brand name, you know, these are Lanvin shoes that probably go $600. I got them for $30.
Nice.
Found them just, you know, so it's the kind of thing that I don't buy a lot of things. I wait for the right thing.
Yeah.
And then because
And very
I don't,
classic.
yeah, because I don't buy a lot of things, I don't feel bad. When I find something that really fits, a jersey or something I like, I do buy it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it fits. I don't have something like this, and I do it. But I don't have a guilt because I bought 5 other nonsense things that weren't exactly the fit and the look that I wanted.
The fit is so critical, what you're talking about with men's clothing. I feel like a lot of people, they buy, you know, for the other quote unquote gender, I'm using that loosely, but like, and kind of look ridiculous because it's like, it just doesn't fit. And I'm dealing with I'm having a tough time buying pants right now.
What,
Dude,
okay,
it's
tell me, I
horrible.
can actually help you with this. What do you want in a pants?
Well, I'm looking for like a pair of trousers.
Yeah.
Like maybe with a pleat, like a double pleat.
So
And I'm
I
having a lot
just
of trouble
bought-
with that.
Yeah, and why are you having trouble? Where are you going?
Because of the fit. Well, I'm looking more at men's stuff because the women's
but
stuff
where
is
are you
really
going?
wide.
Can you list me stores or places?
I don't even know. I just like all kinds of stuff,
I
ranging
just got-
from like Carhartt, like
No.
whip stuff to
No.
like polo stuff, anything that I can
No.
find online.
No. If you want a pleated, so you want is it like a suit pant you're looking for?
Yeah, like a
slack?
slightly more casual than that, but like a slack, yeah.
You've got to go vintage. You've got to take your time. Go to the men's, especially older. You'll see the fits from the 60s and up, and even 90s. I bought Hugo Boss pants, $60. These are $400 pants.
Yeah.
Hugo Boss. Unbelievable fit. Vintage men's. Because what you're looking for is not made in mass. It's made high end. But then that's exorbitant pricing. So you've got to go, especially in a city like New York where there's so many rich people getting rid of great things.
Totally.
Take an afternoon. Maybe you find it, it could take me 3 to 4 months to find a pair of pants.
Right, because the hips.
I won't settle. I'll go, no, it's not exactly right. Everything I have, I've built so slowly that now I have a pair of black slacks. I have black jeans that I like. I have a blue jean. I have white t-shirts. It's taken. The websites,
It's hard because
I
you don't know
don't
how
know,
they're
it's
going to fit
hard.
you. I'm always sending stuff back. That's how I kind of am with antiquing and furniture.
Yeah.
It takes a really long time.
send
takes
but
a long
back.
time. Well, your wardrobe should be the same, I think,
Yeah.
you know. And
I'm
then
just less patient about it, I think.
no, you have to. Exactly. You're less patient with everything. Your temptation. I'll just buy it now. I'll just fuck this girl now. You're less patient with things. I am so excited in everything in my life to see how it wears 20 years.
That's
in.
exactly how I am.
My pants. I can't wait to
She's
still
nailing it.
wear in 10 years because I took such good care of them. Just like being with Gabby, I want to be with somebody 10 years, 15 years. See how that wears, and just sit in that. I think people confuse comfort for boredom.
That's what I do.
And actually, it's so nice to be comfortable in a comfortable space. It's heaven if you can get there.
Yeah. I don't mind the critique about my clothes, but I love my girlfriend very much.
I hear you, and I want for you to close it up. I'm old-fashioned.
And that's okay. We understand.
You're like a Republican where they're like, gay people can't get married, and you're like, what does that have anything to do with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think it's like for me, I hate gay people who have biological children. Right? You see Andy Cohen and his husband are going to buy some woman to have her have a baby and, a surrogate or whatever they're calling it. They're going to cow up a girl. They're going to take the baby home. It's like gay people and kids have such a symbiotic relationship. It's like gay people, we can't have kids, and foster kids can't have parents. Just adopt the kid. It's like it couldn't be more perfect for us. Like, what do you get? What, you're gay people? You're egotistical. You need to have your own kid. It's like,
but
it's
straight
insane.
people can do that too. You know what I mean? It's
but
like
straight people, they can naturally straight people can have kids because they can have kids. If we biologically can't have kids,
I know, but they should adopt too. If they do,
sure.
Expected.
Sure, it's not the same responsibility. First of all, we are so. The fact that we even get to be gay is amazing. We can't just enjoy that. We have to say, but now we need biological. Shut up! You get to be gay. Shut up! Now, you want a kid? Take that one. Picking his nose and that's it. That's your kid. It's enough. You don't get everything. Because already in a gay couple, one of them has to adopt. Because they do. That's the world.
She's not wrong. It is the world.
Ugh. I didn't make it up. I don't wanna.
I think it's just having both in each hand, right? Like to be grateful that we've come from where we've come from.
Like it's like as soon as we get to be gay, it's like, now I want a kid. Shut up. Now we get to be gay. First of all, the whole point was we didn't have kids. We got out of that. Okay, if you want kids, take that one. Here's a kid. He needs you. You need him. Because in a gay couple, one is already adopting. So why should I adopt? You're not adopting. Let's both fucking adopt. What kind of a weird thing?
That is actually a good point.
One's adopting, one's not.
Weird dynamics, social hierarchy of the family.
Dynamic.
Well, what Jen and I are doing, and you're going to hate this.
Oh, I know already.
I froze my eggs.
I was holding my breath.
She's going to have one, you're going to have one.
It's kind of the idea. I froze my eggs. She can.
So,
do you guys be pregnant together?
No, we're not going to do that. That would be crazy.
If this happened with me to the other kid, I'd say, you're not my son.
I'm not planning on doing that.
If there's ever a divorce, I'm going, you come on with me. We're leaving these fucks here. Okay, Gabby and I don't want kids.
But you would adopt.
Gabby and I do not want kids. We had such tumultuous, awful childhoods in many ways that we want to kind of give each other the childhoods that we can now properly afford and enjoy together. And it's been really, really fun to kind of relive that and infantilize each other to some extent. But yeah, if we ever, I would only adopt. And I would adopt, I would like a 10-year-old, something like where I could talk to him, like, what are your expectations? Like, I'm not doing hockey. Like, if you're, I'm not lugging some type of hockey bag. But
you'd interview the kid that you're adopting? Like,
yeah, like, what do you want?
Are you going to do lax? Like, are you going to do...
No, like, what's he
pickleball?
Expecting? Yeah, like, if he, if
I think
he'll
he's
get
just
his
like,
own
I
room.
want a home, maybe.
Well, maybe not. Maybe
he's probably a great communicator after 10 years in the foster system.
But yeah, no, it's weird to me that gay people are having, the biological kid. It's just like, what weirdos? Just grab a kid and go. I'm like, yeah.
Grab and go.
Grab
no, because then it's like you're all in it together. Like if you're adopting a kid, you
can
get
kids at Quick Stop and Wawa.
But you really can. And it's kind of like, well, we're already here. You're already here.
It's hard to go to the through the adoption.
Like, why do you want a biological kid, Ashley? You want to do this? Like, I don't even want to do this again to someone. Like, the buck ends here.
Well, I'm going to be honest. We don't know whether or not we're going to have kids, but because I'm 36, I decided if we do, I freeze my eggs.
Like, what you want to do? You again? Being a child was so awful.
Yeah,
I think it could be healing though for people.
Healing.
Like I don't know if I want a
selfish
kid
reason.
Yet.
Selfish.
No.
Be healing to you?
Well, not now in my life. Like I wouldn't do it unless.
But healing healing for the kid or healing for you?
Healing for both. I think it'd be healing for both because you can either take that and put it on them, or you can learn from that. Mm-hmm.
You guys, I think we're at an hour. And we've answered the big questions. Yeah. Should gay people have kids? No. Are open relationships okay?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
So
Too Far Pod, critically acclaimed, on Netflix. Watch her stand up right now.
I am Robby Hoffman on Instagram. A couple thirst traps you'll see there.
Hell yeah, you will.
You know,
Thank you so much. You've been requested so much, and I'm sorry it took so long.
No, you are forgiven.
I appreciate that. Tell your mother.
You were sitting there the whole time.
Jesus loves
finding
you.
forgiveness.
Jesus loves me.
Jesus loves you.
Kylie Vincent the First on Instagram, TikTok. Watch Full Bird Special. I'm going to be headlining Zany's The Lab in Nashville at the end of the month.
And then, as always, patreon.com/WHGS. It makes this possible. You heard from Robby how powerful it can be. It's still that powerful for us. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then, as always, I'll text you when I'm in your city. And I'm in the Edinburgh Fringe this summer, so come through. Thank you for listening. Patreon.com/WHGS to support this pod. We really need it right now because we are working at a loss when I go to Edinburgh. We would appreciate your dollar. So donate to Queer Art or whatever. It helps everybody on the team. It helps the team more than it helps me, honestly. So please, please, please go and donate. It's hugely helpful for them. And then I'll text you when I get to your city. And a gay thought. I'm wondering if I have any gay thoughts. I mean, I'm working on a bit.
Up to you. I also queued up some gay news as per.
Well, let's hear the gay
back
news
up.
then.
Buffalo League launch. The Buffalo Bills are proud to support the National Gay Flag Football League with a sponsorship to launch a chapter in Buffalo.
This is
the
new.
NGFL, just in the past few days, the Buffalo Bills, whose fans are known to get hammered drunk and body slam tables until they break.
So definitely not gay.
A gay flag football league, specifically within Buffalo.
That's amazing.
Our mission is to unite the community through the spirit of competition while celebrating our diversity.
Are you allowed to play in the league if you're not gay?
And not only is this fun and nice news from a major NFL team.
Yeah, we love that.
But the fans were so... After hearing the news, many sports fans initially thought the National Gay Flag Football League was a joke. However, once they realized it was real, the NFL faced backlash.
Yo, can you imagine being so homophobic that you thought the NFL was just being homophobic as a joke? Can you imagine being so homophobic that you think a major corporation would be like, wouldn't it be so gay if we had a pride flag football team? Wouldn't that be so gay, bro? And you thought that that was the intent. That is crazy. That is crazy. What's the backlash? Now I'm sad.
People, oh man. Everything from this is a joke, right? Or they will fail faster than CNN Plus. This is one of your wildest drops ever, a third ex-user expressed. We're sick of it. Thousands more comments came pouring in, slamming the NFL for their decision to sponsor.
What are the other gay pride flag football events that have... Oh my God, people are so...
Stop this weak gay shit being shoved down our throats, one sports friend expressed. Another ex-user asked, so I have questions. How do you prove that you are gay? Is there a test? Are straight people allowed to play too? But answer, the website says a safe space for individuals of all backgrounds.
That's what I thought.
To share their passion for flag football.
So Twitter user, you can just go and play. Gay people are going to welcome you. They're going to be nice to you.
Frankly, if you're homophobic, well, actually, if you should go, because then you get, I guess it's flag football.
Yeah.
I was about to say you get to tackle
a gay person. But if you're so straight, go and play football with gay people and see if you have a nice time.
Yeah.
They're going to be nice to you. That was upsetting. Have a good week, everybody.